these are the armor pieces from the Subject 2923 DLC. Here in picturesque, snowy Reisum. We're going to start off, first of all, with this. Nice furry backpack. Tusks everywhere. Really nice teeth necklace. Some big clumpy iron boots. And of course a rat. A tusked rat skull. For a helmet. So that's the Warlord set. The alt version of this is the Destroyer set, which you can see has slightly more ornamentation on it. There's a lot more metal bits. The fur is white. There's some markings painted on the skull. You get more contrast with your backpack, which admittedly I know a lot of people hate. And you get that one from heading down the side of the merchant's boat and seeing that it is actually available in the merchant's boat, and then exchanging the packmaster's tusk with the merchant and specifically saying, yeah, I want that armor that you've got down below. If you don't go and see the armor first of all, you can't ask him about it. So that's armor set number 1. Armor set number 2 is the Scavenger's armor. This is probably one of the trickiest pieces of armor to get in the game, realistically. And I think compared to the Warlord's armor, it's probably not as interesting to look at either. I find the lack of gloves a little bit odd, but I do like, once again, the scratched metal armor, and I do quite like the coloration of this one. Not a huge fan of the headpiece, however, but I do like the big spiky shoes. So that's the original coloration, and then the skin, which is the Raider's armor. Some people might like the kind of brushed greeny golden or greeny bronze coloration on the breastplate, coupled with the almost tribal markings on the cloth. I'm not sure it's for me, personally. But it's decent enough looking skin, regardless. And as far as I'm aware, those are the only 2 armor sets added in the DLC. Next up, we've got the armor from the Swamps of Corsus DLC. 2 sets of armor. Once again, we're going to start off with the Carapace set, which you get from the Brain Bug Mogosh, trading black carapace shells to him when you are infected with a parasite. You can't talk to him otherwise. Since the first time I did this video, this set has actually grown on me in terms of its looks. They've messed around with a lot of the set bonuses as well. This is the basic version of it, and this is the alternate skin version of it, which again makes it look a little bit more kind of toxic and poisonous and not good for you. Certainly makes you stand out more on the screen with this delightful chitinous look to it. But a pretty neat looking set, very visually distinctive compared to some of the ones in the game. So that's the Vanguard. The other armor set added in Swamps of Corsus is this. This is the very distinctive looking Labyrinth set, which for a long time was my go-to armor set, simply because it had got the auto-loot hoovering effect on it. Sadly, they changed that in Subject 2923, but it's still a very interesting looking set, and it's very good if you like using mods. It's got this very rocky stone texture to it with metal embellishments and this lovely glow effect, which, if I remember correctly, does actually glow in the dark. The alt version has got this pulsating green glow all over it, plus green details on the tabard, and a slightly more brass bronze set of metallic bits. If you like your green glowy weapons, this complements it reasonably well. It's not the same kind of green, unfortunately, but it's still quite nice. And again, instructions for how to get this and all the skins in this video will be up in the top right hand corner. So those are the Swamps of Corsus DLC skins. Now we move on to the original game armor sets, plus the skins that were added in Swamps of Corsus, and, because I'm lazy, any little bits and pieces extra that were added in after the base game as well. This is the starter set. This is the Survivor's gear, which consists of body and legs. Yes, there are goggles, but the goggles you don't start with. The goggles come from the survival mode, where you have to beat 5 bosses in survival mode without dying. But at least that's how you used to do it. I should probably check that. It's a decent enough looking set. It looks post-apocalyptic. It looks functional. It's a nice green colour. So that was the adventurous stuff. This is the survivor stuff, which is actually got a little bit more to it. There's some leather texturing on it, some more heavily textured pants. Again, you've still got your backpack. But this is the alt skin version, which I appreciate, but I don't think I quite like as much, because I think the brown leather is just a little bit too much on the tunic. But yeah, so adventurous stuff that you start out with, survivor stuff which you can buy as a skin. So that's available from the very start of the game. Next up, we have the first of the armor pieces available on Earth. This is the Bandits set, which very much works for me. It looks rugged, it looks post-apocalyptic, it looks very, very earthy. It's full of little details, a nice leather jacket, nice gas mask, you know, very much a survivor's piece of gear. Its alt version is the Brigand's gear, which I think I actually quite like. I think I like this even more, just because I like the patchwork nature of the shirts and the additional bits and pieces detail-wise, the yellow markings on the mask and on the sleeve and on the glove there. It looks worn, it looks scruffy, it looks like the kind of armor that somebody... I don't see anyway. Anyways, yeah, it looks like the kind of armor that somebody out surviving on their own would put together. It's functional. It works nicely. Next up, we've got the Cultist set, which is probably still my favourite armor set in the game. This is the armor set that you get when you pick the Cultist archetype for the first time. When you first create a character, you're given the choice of 3 archetypes that you can use. And this one has got a cool hat, it's got a cool duster, coat, it's got lots of nice layers, knee pads, belts, buckles, jewellery, a nice almost hood cape style thing with a pin badge on. And yeah, I really like this set. And it's got 2 variations. This variation is the Doomsayer variation. It's got a nice pale and dark contrasty motif going. It's got lots of little spirals and details and circles painted onto things. A bit of a tweed jacket type situation going on there. Don't know how they managed to keep the hat even that clean. This was a pre-order bonus, but I believe, I might be wrong with this, but I vaguely recall seeing somewhere that these have now been unlocked for everybody with the Subject 2923 DLC. It's been over a year since the game launched, so it's not like you can pre-order stuff anymore. So I believe this is now available for everyone. If I'm wrong, I'll put a little comment on the screen now. So that was originally pre-order only. And this is the Ritualist version of it, which has got loads and loads of really cool details on it. It's dark green. You can't quite tell it actually from this lighting, but it's dark green. And it's got some lovely gold embellishments that really give it this sense of power. It feels very much like an upgrade in terms of power level compared to the base version of the skin. And this is the version of the skin that was added in the Swamps of Corsus DLC. So base game armor, but Swamps of Corsus skin. So you need that at least in order to be able to access it. Very cool set. Very cool set indeed. Another Earth set. This is the Drifter's armor, which you can find the first couple of pieces of in the very opening place that you go to after leaving the ward for the first time using the crystal. Crash your way through the bookcase and you'll find the coat and the trousers there. The mask, on the other hand, is hidden in one of the dungeons. I'm not entirely sure I like the mask. I mean, I know what it is. It's obviously a welding mask, and it looks very, very functional. It's got some nice shoulder pads, metal straps to the forearms for extra protection, belts, buckles, pouches. It's your kind of stereotypical archetype for post-apocalyptic chic. The Vagrant version of it has, for some reason, got camouflage on. I'm not entirely sure why you would need such camouflage in the urban jungles of post-apocalyptic Earth. But I do like the way everything is stitched together, as if it's been, put together by the character themselves. And I think the darker metalwork actually does work slightly better. Just not sold on the camo. And the lighter straps on the shoes make it look a little bit like they're wearing dress shoes at a glance, which I don't think works particularly well. But stuff like this, cosmetics, is all very much open to personal preference. Right, here we have got the Hunters set. This is one of the 3 starting archetype skins. It's a very, very cool skin. Obviously, with all of these, you can hide the helmets, so you don't necessarily need to have the gas mask and hood if you want to. It's a trench coat. You can't really go wrong with a Pop's collar trench coat. Muddy jeans, wrapped bandaged legs, some boots, a dirty trench coat, which actually is one of the few skins that really does work well with the backpack. Bandaged hands, a little bit of jewellery around the neck, some dog tags hanging off the belt. I really like this particular skin. And because it's one of the starting archetypes, it's actually got 2 variations. So this is the Nightstalker variation. This was originally a pre-order bonus for the base game, so you could get this all the way back at the start. Obviously, it's a dark leather trench coat, so a lot of people saw this and thought, oh, I want that. I quite like the red stitching on it, and overall the kind of darker look really does work quite nicely for me. The gold jewelry on there. And this is the skin that was added in Swamps of Corsus that you could buy with fragments. A red trench coat giving you your Dante from Devil May Cry vibes. Again, a dark t-shirt, some paint splattered, it looks like jeans. Dark t-shirt, gold detailing. Almost a skull-like painted face drawn on the mask. But yeah, plenty of choices there. And of course, you can mix and match these different skins to your heart's desire. On that particular piece of armor, you can't overwrite other armor types with them. Unfortunately, that is one of the the big failings of this system. But yeah, the Widowmaker Shroud, or the Widowmaker set, is a favourite of mine. Right, Leto's set. Leto, still can't remember, still haven't checked. I'm still not a huge fan of this one. It's big, it's bulky, it's got some interesting detail with the yellow stripes on it. It's a super heavy, it's in fact the only, as far as I'm aware, super heavy armor set in the game, and it looks it. It's lots of metal, it's lots of protection. You are very, very tanky in this set. I just think it looks a little bit daft, if I'm honest, but it's the closest that you're going to get to a full-on knight in, or a classic full-on knight in armor style look. So if you like playing the incredibly robust tanky character, this is the set for you. And you can mitigate some of the weight with various trinkets and accessories that are available. The alt skin is this. This is the Sentinel set. I actually quite like the visor for this one because it looks more glowy. I don't know if it actually does. Yeah, it's pulsating, so I believe that bit does glow in the dark, giving it that furnace style look. I just think that this one's slightly better coordinated, though I don't really like the big yellow stripe down the center. But I think this one is a slightly cooler variation overall. It looks more unified, oddly, even though it's clearly got more contrasting bits. Decent stuff. The Scrapper set, available at the start of the game, is one of the armor sets that you choose for your archetype. This is your melee set and has various bonuses for getting up close and personal. It's got some really cool tire shoulder pads, which I really like. It's got kind of a visor and a mask behind it to protect your eyes. I'm not entirely sure about the pot helmet style thing. I'm not entirely sure how they keep those lighter leggings clean, but it's definitely got a little bit more of a sense of movement available to it. You know, the arms are covered in certain places, but they'd allow you to swing a melee weapon better. Now, as one of the original armor sets, there was a pre-order bonus available for this, which gives you this, which is, I can see what they were going for with the yellow and black warning stripes, but yeah, I don't think it really works. I think there's just too much color on this. The added red and orange on the boots just does not work. There's just too much going on. If you like busy color schemes and melee, then this is probably the armor for you, realistically, but I think it looks a bit bad. And this is the third skin, which is much better coordinated than the pre-order DLC one, in my opinion. It's gone back to the classic tires, darker overall. This is the, what was this one called? I've forgotten. Roughneck. I actually think this looks more like a Gladiator than the Gladiator one. You know, with the bronze decorations. It's more of a Roman look to it, especially with that breastplate being as it is. But yeah, if you like the Scrapper set, I think this is probably the best version of it. Definitely looks like somebody who'd wade into a gladiatorial arena and kick some butt. This is the Twisted set. This is the last of the Earth-based armor sets. And I really like this one. I like the fact that it's covered in wood. It's got a bit of a cape. It looks very rural. It's got stuff going down the sleeves from a kind of a root infection. You have to complete it used to be a reasonably rare event to get this set, and it used to have a really, really good set bonus as well. Obviously, I'm trying not to talk about set bonuses in this video because set bonuses have changed reasonably regularly in the game. This is also one of the only sets in the game that has got an alternate version of the hood. Now, this headpiece rather, doesn't actually fit the rest of the set, unfortunately, but it's got the same set bonus, and that headpiece can be found in one of the dungeons as well. And this is the alternate version of the twisted skin. This is the corrupted skin, and you can very clearly see why. It's got these lovely pulsy glowy bits on it where the root have corrupted the wearer. Got some nice detailing on it. Really like this skin. I do feel now that I prefer the original rather than the corrupted, which I think is a change from my first video on this many months ago. But it's still a really, really cool skin. The only other armor piece from Earth that's worth showcasing is this hat. This is the bomber hat. This was originally a Twitch Prime bonus for the game. I have no idea if it is in any way available anymore. They may have added it in 2923. I just don't know. It was originally, as I said, linked to a Twitch Prime pre-order bonus. And it goes nicely with the Adventurers set if you don't like the goggles that go with it. It looks cozy as well. Could do with one of those right now. Right, welcome to the Rhom section of the video where I'm going to showcase the skins that you can find on Rhom. We'll start off with the Akari set, which is found in one of the vaults. I really like this set. It's got a kind of Dune Stalker, Waste Wanderer style look to it with its wrap sleeve and its triangular poncho style thing and its asymmetrical nature, plus the baggy pants. It looks very ninja-esque as well, which I know a lot of people will appreciate. But to be honest, if you want to go for the ninja, then wearing the shadow alt version of the skin is even more up your alley, I would think. I think I actually prefer the original, but I do appreciate the huge amount of leather and darkness on this. I think they probably should have gone with red rather than green on the detailing to really go for that danger look. But I don't think they were really going for, oh yes, this is what you want to wear if you want to play a ninja. Yeah, very cool skin, this one. Really like it. Right, this is the Osseus set. I really like the amount of detailing on this set. I'm not a huge fan of the colour scheme, but I do like the fact that it's all covered in bones. And again, it's got this very tribal look to it. I do quite like the helmet shape, I think, but I'm kind of torn on it. I certainly like the fact that it's got jawbones attached to it in kind of a mandible style fashion. You get this one quite easily by buying all the secrets from Wood the Merchant on Rhom. Yeah, it's got a nice look to it. It reminds me of some of the armor in World of Warcraft, actually. The alt version is this, which is the Headhunter variation, which I want to like, but I just don't. I like the leather texture, but I think the kind of yellow and brown skulls on it really don't work very well. I think if they got the leather darker, gone for a more black leather, then they could have had a black and yellow thing going on, and that might have worked. But I think this one, as it is, just looks too brown and mustard. Not really the kind of thing that I would wear. Here we've got the Void set. Again, found on Rhom. Complete the monolith floor puzzle in one of the central locations of Rhom to be able to purchase this one. This was my go-to armor set for an awfully long time. It's got that cool kind of sci-fi mummy thing going on. I like the bandage wraps around the arm. There's a little bit of physics on the bandages as well. It looks bony. It looks alien. it really works as an armor set, in my opinion, which is why I think I put it on the thumbnail of the original video. Its alt skin is this one, which is the Chaos set, which has got these lovely glowing impulse lines on it. And this improves the skin in, for me, most ways. I do kind of feel like some of the details on the helmet have been lost. I'd have liked to see some of that pulsating detail on the helmet, perhaps with some kind of eye socket style things. You know, just two little pinpricks of light there. I think that's a missed opportunity. But otherwise, yeah, this set, obviously, it lights up slightly in the darker sections of the game. It's still got the nice light bandages for contrast. Looks a bit daft with the straps for the backpack, but a lot of these sets do. Overall, though, really quite like that. And a reasonably easy one to get as well, as long as you've got the appropriate resources and know how to do the puzzle. That's it for Rhom. Well, we're now in the Corsus original game version section of this video, and there's literally just the one armor set that was available. Corsus, as many people know, they had issues with in development, and therefore it didn't get finished or fleshed out properly, and thus there was only actually one armor set available in the Corsus section of the campaign, which was this one, the Duck Armor, aka the Slayer set. This mask, man. I really like 95% of this armor. I just don't like the helmet. And no, it's not even the helmet, it's the mask. I don't like the mask of this. Everything else works really nicely for me. You get this from giving the Guardian's heart to the Iskall Queen, and then you can buy the armor from her. But yeah, I like the shoulder pad. I like the gauntlets, or the van braces, I suppose they technically are. You've got the kind of chitinous metal, or maybe even bone leg plates. Not a huge fan of the curled up toe shoes, admittedly. You know, it's not a terrible armor set. It's just that headpiece looks daft. The alt skin for the Slayer set is the Harbinger set, which has got some really nice pulsating glowy turquoise bits on. These bits light up in the dark. You've still got the patchwork coat, got yellow on the tunic, but it's the glowing details, and even the mask doesn't look quite as ridiculous in this, because I think the colouring is better, and the glowy details really help sell it. Let's move away from the stone slightly so we don't have the red glow, but you can see those details actually really do help make the set a little bit more visually interesting. And you can see on the gauntlets there the light pulsing in and out. But yeah, so this is the only piece of armor that was originally in Corsus. The other two pieces that you can get, the Labyrinth set and the Carapace set, both available in adventure mode, not as part of the main Corsus campaign. Admittedly, you can miss Corsus entirely in the campaign if you're running it through. If you kill the Undying King, you can actually skip Corsus entirely. Welcome to the Yaesha section of the video, where we're going to start off with this delightful piece of armor. This is the Elder set, which I think fits really, really well with the Pan, the people of Yaesha. It's got some nice detail on it. I'm not entirely sure what the big loop on the bracelet is for. Maybe attaching to ropes to climb up and down trees. I don't know. I like the little jade details on the belt and the little kind of tribal tags hanging off this shoulder piece. It's got straps, it's got bandages, it's got a bit of side boob if you're a female character, though she is wearing some leather and that. But most importantly, I really like this kind of, in fact, I'm going to turn the character around. I really like this feathered back piece and headdress. But that's not actually, in my opinion, the best version of this outfit, because the best version of this outfit is actually, in my opinion, the alt skin, which I really liked the first time I saw this. It's got some really nice red details, some darkness, but some really kind of bone white contrasting markings. It's got this lovely crimson blood coloured leaf slash feather thing going on, as you would expect for a set called the Bloodletter set. This is, in my opinion, one of the best skins in the game, and it's a shame really that for a long time, I don't know whether the set bonus is any good anymore, but it certainly wasn't any good for my play style, and it is a failing of the skin system that you can't transmog these skins onto other armor sets, only onto the same armor sets. But that's the Bloodletter and Elder skins. Here we've got the Radiant set, which you get from the Stuck Merchant event in the center of Yaesha. I like this armor in theory. It's got a real kind of Royal Guard feel to it. It's never really suited my playstyle, but I like the off-the-shoulder cape. I like the detailing. It looks alien. It's got lovely little jade bits on it, plus a kind of a bandolier for cartridges of some kind of description. It works really nicely, I think, as a set. And it's got this alt version, which is the Crusader set. Again, I like the jade detailing on it, but actually I think this set looks a little bit muddy. I can see what they were going for, and the actual texture work on the individual kind of jade stone pieces is quite nice, but because there is so much texture to it, it loses some definition, I feel, and therefore just doesn't look quite as clean as it could otherwise do. It's still a cool armor set, but I think I'd have to go with the original over this reskin. Of course, if you are using a lot of weapons that have kind of green mods attached to them, this does go quite well with those. So there we have it, folks. Those are all of the armor sets currently available in Remnant from the Ashes. I think overall this particular one is probably my favourite looking set and skin of the bunch, but there are some really cool ideas. Hopefully you have found this video as useful as many people found the first version of it. Obviously it's been chopped up differently. I don't know whether that was a good idea, but it certainly made more sense filming it that way. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of the video. Remember, I'll link down below to the skins help video as well. But just to reiterate for people that don't want to go and figure these things out for themselves, in order to change skins, open up your inventory, click on the item, and then hit X to select skin, and you can change those here. And you can even change the skins for... You can change the skins for whichever item you select, as long as you're in the correct thing. You don't need to have the skin equipped first. So select the item to bring up the helmet menu, or the body menu, or the legs menu. Select the item you want to change the skin for. Hit X, and it's the X button on the Xbox pad as well. Select your skin, hit space in this case, and it will change it up for you. Thank you all very much for watching, folks. Catch you all in the next Remnant video. Thanks for the support. Cheerio. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, why not click the like button and consider subscribing. Remember, you can ring the bell notification icon to get notified when new videos go live. And until next time, cheerio.